all right, everybody. It is Friday, so it's time for us to deliver some movie talk or movie recommendation for you because it is the weekend, so why not? And of course, the three of us, Rasha, Indra, including myself, we have some movie recommendation that we've already watched and we loved, and hopefully you guys will love it too. So starting from me.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie, Caroline?
And this is a movie that I watched basically in the theater with my husband and also my our friends. It's a movie from Guy Ritchie. It's called The Covenant. So we're gonna take a look at the trailer right now.
Ooh.
This is a good one, by the way.
John, you have tallies approaching. I don't remember any of it.
I only remember the interpreter. Why you want this job?
I need the money.
Don't disappoint. Turn out to be a pain in the ass.
No, not me, sir.
Money isn't the reason he wants this job.
It's Alabama killed his son.
Stop the vehicle, Sergeant.
We don't want to go down this road.
You're out of your bounds, Ahmed. You're here to translate.
Actually, I'm here to interpret.
John, you have tallies approaching.
His family believed you were dead. We owe that man your life.
There wasn't enough for him to carry me across those mountains. Now he's hiding in a hole somewhere.
Here it is, guys. It's still on the theaters right now. What you're seeing right now is Guy Ritchie right there directing. Now, The Covenant follows a U.S. Army Sergeant John Kinley, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and Afghan interpreter Ahmed, played by Scandinavian actor Dar Salim. After an ambush, Ahmed goes to a Herculean lengths to save Kinley's life, and when Kinley learns that Ahmed and his family were not given safe passage to the U.S. as promised, he must repay his debt by returning to the war zone and rescue them before the Taliban gets them first. So this is actually, we were talking before, Rasha, and also Indra, I love these kind of war type of movies, especially those that has a human touch in it. You have Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, and whatnot, and this one including The Covenant. I love the way that Guy Ritchie is, putting this movie together on behalf of the interpreter, because especially now it's very relatable. We have so many wars going on right now. And then especially in the Middle East, you need to have someone that is a local, that understands the language, right? And then they put their life into this because, again, they're against their brothers, they're against their, their countrymen to help, like the U.S. ally or, the Western countries who is there. Right? And then helping them. So in a way, in the hometown, they've become the target. And then also by the armies or by the military, sometimes they don't trust them because they thought, are you going to be on the same pool as, the people like in Afghanistan and whatnot.
That's right.
But this one is really great, Rasha, and also Indra. I love it because it has, again, it's more of that human touch, even though the leading man of this movie is Jake Gyllenhaal. But I think Dar Salim plays a huge role in this movie.
Of course, he's one of the main character, right?
It is. He's not the leading, he's the second leading man. But here, he doesn't talk as much, but he plays it with his, with his heart. You can see the passion in it and whatnot. And also it showcased the interpreter that's been helping a lot of people. I mean, a lot of militaries in the war zone. They're not being helped. This is one of the stories that it comes in a good, at the end, it's a good story at the end.
Yes.
It's a positive note, but we know in real life, it's not all like this.
Yeah, it's like the unsung heroes, but they actually also at some point needed help as well. And it's a beautiful connection, right? Between the two supposedly opposing sides, and then they come together because of the humanity. Oh my gosh!
And sometimes with this, Ahmed, he's the character in this. He's doing what he's doing because he just wants a better life.
Right.
He has a wife who is pregnant, and then the U.S. government also had promised that if you help us as an interpreter, that you're going to have a U.S. citizenship. But at that moment, I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers. But again,
we can listen to you all day long, Caroline.
It does speak volume. I mean, like with the recent, the U.S. went out from Afghanistan, and we've seen people like left behind, and you kind of wonder, like, some of these people probably already helped them try. I mean, some of them work at the embassy, some of them work at it's nice like they giving Guy Ritchie giving these people some voice. So
Exactly.
Some homage.
Right. You were saying the unsung heroes, you were talking about volume. So I think this is one story and one movie that we need to watch, especially what is happening right now in Sudan. I think it is just very relatable. All right. My second one, because of course the team asked for 2 movies. The second one is The Diplomat, where you can watch it on Netflix, and here's the trailer. And Russia's gonna like this one too.
Ooh, let's see.
Ambassador Catherine Weiler, Prime Minister Nicol Trowbridge.
Welcome.
Sir, it's an honor to meet you.
Honor to be met.
Someone is luring a strike force into the Persian Gulf.
The president is sending you to stop a war before it starts. Not butter a crumpet.
Welcome to London, Ambassador Wilder.
Call me Hal. I'm the ambassador's wife.
My husband was an ambassador for a long time. This will be an adjustment.
You need to lean into the Cinderella thing.
I will rain hellfire upon them.
It's not Iran. We should be looking at Russia and Saudi Arabia. Your intelligence is the best tool we have to de-escalate a situation that is spinning out of control.
Here to help.
You don't work for the U.S. government. This is new to me. Both of you at the same time. I could use less of it.
You want my help? You don't want my help. I'm the smartest man you ever met, biggest idiot in the world. Can't we admit that I am not the only problem?
He is way over the line.
If the house is on fire, you gotta tell me.
The house is on fire.
All right, a career diplomat juggles her new high-profile job as an ambassador, which was once her husband's. Now, her turbulent marriage to a political star amid an international crisis. The series followed Carrie Russell, the best, as Kate Weiler, as she starts her new role as the United States ambassador to the UK. Kate suspects that someone is luring a strike force into the Persian Gulf, which sets up international crisis she will likely spend the season dealing with. Now, before becoming ambassador, Kate was a longtime diplomat, giving her a different set of skills that may not transfer over as well as she hoped. So I think Russia would love this.
I love career women, movies, empowered women, doing hard work.
There you go.
How about the staying at home husband?
nice to have.
And I think with it, again, this is very relatable because we're seeing right now that women or wives are more in the front pedestal than the husband. But also in this series, it really shows also that, you know, the husband was an ambassador before, she was a diplomat, and that's why they got married, you know, and whatnot. But now the role is reversed. But again, there's always a saying that, you know, every successful man, there's a successful wife behind him.
Yes.
But I think in this particular series, it really shows that when there's a successful wife, there's also a very smart, intelligent husband.
Oh my God, Caroline, that is such a great way to
put
it.
How you put it.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it also, right? Our finance minister, Busri Moyani, right here. I mean, she's very successful, but we know that, you know, her husband's support really does play a pivotal role. And I think we need to have that, right? We need to give also a send off to the husband also. And I think this one is a really great one. It has a lot of
my God, I cannot wait to watch this. I'm going to watch this right after 5 p.m. off work. Let's go.
The Diplomat is for the weekend for Russia.
I mean, it's funny. Like, I had a feeling like somebody's gonna pick this one, so I was like, I'm gonna pick that one.
You watched this too?
I'll watch it, but like, what messed up is like, cause now since I'm watching it and like things happening in Sudan, so sometimes like when I read the story, it's like, wait, did I remember that? Is that happening in Sudan or is that happening on?
Oh my God!
It's all messed up because like things kind of intertwined, and like who's attacking who and like who's taking.
So it's kind of like based from the real dynamic as well, real world politics.
Yes, I mean she was a diplomat for the Middle Eastern, if I'm not mistaken, right? She was the front runner.
He was the Hal, the husband, was
the ambassador, right? But then she was also the diplomat, and she was going to be the next ambassador in that region. But then she switched. She got switched.
The president.
Yeah, the president chose her to be in UK because of such an incident. And there's also a plot twist that we can't tell you.
Okay.
Enjoy that.
I mean, like, even like when you hear about like things about Russia, it has like the story of Russia. It's just like, wait, is that the again, is that a movie or was it actually things happen?
But from the story, what I like is just because, you know, it seems that the husband is the one that's kind of orchestrating it, but not to the point, the way that I see that he trusted her, that he knows that she can deliver well. That's why he's trying to make this pave way for her. Because he's the more now known as an ambassador, he knows more about this political issues and whatnot. He's trying to make that pathway for her much more, not easier, but I think he's trying to divert her in the right way, and I love it.
I think it's interesting because it gives a voice to this new dynamic of women at the forefront, but smart men at the back, right? They're working together as a unit, and then they become this power couple.
And of course, as a husband and wife, sometimes we don't listen to our husband. We don't. We're like, I'm not listening to you. I know what I'm doing. At the end, I'm just like, honey, yeah, you're right.
See, Caroline, even strong women need smart men, right?
I want to talk about something else.
Let's go.
Like, one thing that I appreciate, but the whole look is very, it's very different than what you think about, like when you're talking about Diplomat.
Right.
Like, the house is very nice.
Yeah.
The whole, like, I like the cast, like how they dress and like how it's very, very well put together. I love the foreign minister for UK. Like, it's very British.
It's very British.
You just write it.
Don't like his role though, but she's still married.
It's a pleasure, isn't it, when a movie also pay attention to the little attire details. It's like a pleasure for the eyes. I love it already. I'm sold, guys.
All right, so next is it Russia or Indra?
Indra.
Okay.
My turn. Okay, my first recommendation is also from Netflix, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Let's take a look at the trailer.
So I'm the distractor with a little story. People can't get enough of them because, well, they connect the stories to themselves, I suppose. And we all love hearing about ourselves. So long as the people in the stories are.
This'll tell the tale.
I'm Buster Scruggs.
You're shooting ironwork.
Appears to do, yes.
Do you have anything to say before sentence is carried out?
Sentence? What's my sentence?
King of kings!
That man is a wonder. Oh, we'll just have to see, won't we?
Crazy business.
All right, well, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs is a 6-part Western anthology film consisting of a series of tales about the American frontier told through the unique voice of Joel and Ethan Coen. Each chapter tells a distinct story about the American West. The anthology is set in a 19th century post-Civil War America where life was cruel and cheap and follows 6 different people united by death.
Wow.
So you're asking me, well, how is it all interconnected? It's all interconnected by that. So like even in the beginning, it's funny. The Coen brothers, they play with, it's a very dark comedy.
Okay.
And then he plays like, it's very comical, like how the person died. Like the guy he plays from O Brother Where Art Thou, like he always singing, and then he plays us singing cowboys throughout the films. And like, he's wearing all white, and it's very comedic.
Yes.
Like it's very cartoonist.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it's like Colin Sanders. Okay.
But even when he died, like it was very comical. Like when he's going to heaven, he was still wearing all white and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, but it was interesting. Like the first and the last stories is more the way they talk to the audience is more dialogues, and then on the second and the fourth one is more. I'm sorry, the second and the fifth one it has more stories, and then like how it's very self-centered to the main characters. So James Franco is going to be on the second story.
Wow.
Yeah.
And on third and the fourth one is centralized on how the American frontier relate to the people around them. And then it's you kind of see the characters from the second story kind of appear on the fourth story, but it's not the same. It's not the same
story?
actors.
Okay.
But it's that person who don't care about life and cheat life and
Right.
like, trying to rob other people. That character is gonna show up again on the fourth one.
persona of it,
The
right?
persona of it, and
Right.
so you kind of like, was that the guy? But it's not.
Right.
It's not really. It's just.
Ooh.
I think Coen's brothers really smart on how they play these characters. For me, it's very poetic. I like the cinematography. Like it starts very light and it's getting darker and darker. At the end, it was a journey about like the high class, the middle class, and the lower class to the afterlife.
Oh, wow.
So, like-
So is it because like, regardless of your class, we're actually bounded together with the same thing, which is we're going to die anyway.
There's a different way to die, by the way.
There's a different way to die, and
Right.
live, die,
And
live
then,
and die.
and then you're always hoping, like, the nice thing about the American frontier, like, you're always rooting for the nice guy to survive. At the same time, things just happen and people are just gonna die. And then you're not
Right,
It's an easy film. Like, if you watch the first part, you don't have to continue to the second one
Yes.
right away. You can just stop. And then,
But I love the ambience look, though, the way the cinematography that was taken, like you were saying, even the color, the color grading is very different with each series, so that is kind of interesting. I just, American Frontier, something about American history and this kind of part.
Yes.
Not kind of my forte, but I would love recommendation, by the way.
all right, for my second one, it's an old movie. It's The Prestige.
Ooh, love
Let's
it.
take a look on the trailer.
Love this.
In a manner never before seen by yourselves or any other audience anywhere in the world.
The audience loved it.
His trick is top-notch.
Celebrate.
A real magician tries to invent something new. It's something that other magicians will scratch their heads over.
I suppose you have such a trick.
Actually, I do. It's the one they're gonna remember me for.
What happened?
You see something shocking you've never seen before. This was built by a man who can actually do what magicians pretend to do.
Real magic.
I know what you really are.
How does he do it?
You want the truth?
Gone horribly wrong. Page 2, 19th century magician Alfred Borden. Alfred Borden, played by Christian Bale, and Rupert Angier, played by Hugh Jackman, against each other in a battle for supremacy. Terrible consequences loom when the pair escalate their feud from just outwitting each other to downright destroying one another.
I like this era better. Sorry.
To be honest, I am
right?
too. Yeah.
The way that you dress.
Yeah, it's so
not.
different from what we are. It's so immersive.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the basis for my thesis for my
Really?
degree. So I
my
was researching about magicians and like
So
how
what's
they
the central argument?
about the Prestige.
Yeah, the
it was,
story. Or your research, or your thesis.
They were competing. They're competing each other.
Right.
So who can outdo the other magicians?
Right.
And then one of the thing is Ritchie. He was. I want to say it, but like I'm gonna
say it.
I'm gonna ruin the whole story
Okay.
because like
It is a classic, by the way. I'm pretty sure a lot of people already watched it.
there's like, if you pay attention on every clues that they given, I mean, it's one of Nolan's, one of his. I mean, I love Nolan's films, but like this one, for some reason, this is the one that hooked me in.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it's the other thing is like, for me, magic is also movies, and like, I was studying movies, and like, Nolan's all about movies. Like this movie, and then like you move on to Interstellars and all that movies.
Right.
Like, it's all about explaining like how a movie works and like the things that you don't see behind the curtains and all that.
It's
kind
like
of
a
stuff.
higher awareness level.
And the other thing is like the escape, like the escaping, and like my thesis was like about the escape artists and all that kind of stuff, and then they're trying to figure out how can somebody get out from one place to another, and like what do they have to do, and the sacrifice that they have to do to be a magician. There's some killings happening, like of the person that you really love in this movie. People who sent out to jail who doesn't deserve to be in jail. They're talking about the unjust of life. Like my theme is today is like unjust.
I know, right? And it's a great one too, because sometimes we need to kind of reverse ourselves, kind of reserve ourselves to see how it is live. And I think like this movie is very poetic in a way to
Yeah.
kind of see how society is.
Yes.
Even through magic, it turns
Yeah.
out there are some in social justice also. So it's a good
Great
one.
story.
Classic one, love it.
All right, now my turn for my
Yes.
movie recommendation. Our first one is the menu. Let's
I
take
like
a
this
look
one.
at the trailer.
Is that gonna fit everyone?
Yeah, easily. 12 customers total.
How do they turn a profit?
$12.50 a head, that's how.
What are we eating, a Rolex?
It's one of his classics.
Welcome to Hawthorne.
Here we are family. We harvest, we ferment, we gel.
They gel.
We gel.
Very dark.
He's
and
not
it's
just a
very
chef.
messed up.
He's a
The
storyteller.
Menu is a dark comedy horror film that maintains suspense for the whole runtime and offers a sublime plot. The film is centered around a group of elite guests who arrive on a private island for a dining experience at celebrity chef Julian Slowik's exclusive restaurant, Hawthorne. It is delightful to see where the film goes from there with its commentaries on the super rich, their fancy but vain practices, and an ultimate downfall that is horrific yet satisfying. The Menu is certainly an unusual film in some aspects, but it's a great watch and leaves us pondering afterwards.
Not for the faint heart, though.
Not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched this?
No, I haven't, but
Okay.
wanted to watch this one.
Coming in, I have no idea what the movie was about, by the way. I was looking
You
for...
didn't know?
No, I was just looking at like, oh, this is gonna be about cooking.
Okay,
Well,
guys.
is it about cooking? Well, there's some cooking involved, of course.
So as previous stories, it's basically telling a story from one thing. So for The Prestige, it's telling a story from magic, right? It's telling the story from cooking, yes, but it underlies underlying central argument is about classes, pretentiousness, and privilege. Because it basically tells the story of a rising chef that has been very successful, have a lot of investors, so that he's able to create a restaurant in a private island. But is it really what he wanted? You know, like it begs the question as a human being, what do you really seek in life? It's not necessarily the fame or the high profile job. Sometimes it's just simply creating from the heart. That's basically, you know, the whole story is all about. It actually satiring the elite class, you know, that is willing to pay so much for just an experience of eating. Some people even very lucky to be able to eat just one time in this very private restaurant. And there's this couple who went there more than one time, like a couple of times, but they don't even remember what they had previously. So yeah, it's basically about human passion and real experience instead of being pretentious.
This is like, you know, they're making this movie especially to play a joke, especially right now in the social media era where people go out and, you know, they take pictures of their food and whatnot more than the taste.
That's right, Caroline.
But it's a very good satire,
You're
by the
spot
way.
on. You're spot on.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, have you ever eaten anywhere with Michelin stars or anything like that?
I did in
You
Paris.
actually enjoyed that much because the taste or because it's the Michelin?
Well, of course. Like the one that I went to when in Paris, it's just because we know it's a Michelin star, so we need to try to taste it. It is delicious.
Right.
But there's a one hawker stall in Singapore, and you know, and they serve one of the best, you know, Hainan Chinese Hainan rice, and it's really good. It isn't a hawker style, but it has a 4-star Michelin star, and it is that good. You know what I mean? That's why they deserve the stars.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything with a Michelin stars or like fine dining experience. It's just sometimes you can go to the extreme where it becomes too much pretentiousness and the social media things, right?
Yes. Because sometimes when you go and they're like looking at you, even from the receptionist, you know, they'll be like, "Are you sure you want to eat here?" And I'm like, "Do I need to open my wallet? Because like I definitely can't pay for your steak." No.
Mama has spoken.
At the end of the day, food is live, and you know it's a way to connect with other people. So yeah, it raises a great point in this movie.
A nice one.
All
Good
right, my next movie recommendation, I'm sure a lot of you have watched, but just in case you haven't watched, it is Knives Out. Let's take a look at the trailer.
I'm Detective Lieutenant Elliott, and this is Trooper Wagner. We just want to ask a few questions. We understand the night of his demise, the family have gathered to celebrate your father's 85th birthday. How was it, by the way?
The party? pre my dad's death? Oh, it was great.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request that you all stay until the investigation is completed.
What?
Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask.
I'm gonna live till I die. You think one of his family killed? Is that what you're suggesting?
The circumstances surrounding death of crime novelist Harlan Chomby are mysterious, but there is one thing that renowned detective Benoit Blanc knows for sure, that everyone in the widely dysfunctional Chomby family is a suspect. Now, Blanc must sift through a web of lies and red herrings to uncover the truth.
Not finished untangling it, not yet. What is this?
I'm sure you guys watched this, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those classic too, goodie. I remember I watched it in the cinema and I was so immersed by the story because it's so unique. And Daniel Craig plays a different role. He used to be a James Bond and now he's becoming a detective from Texas. It's so funny, and I think one key takeaways that I feel from the story is about the importance of having honesty and hard work that will, lead you to a good life, right? Because the main character is just an immigrant, and then she doesn't have anything, but because of her hard work and honesty, she's the one who's inherited all the money. Yeah.
It's just a good action movie for me, this one. I mean, it's a good watch for more than
It's like
2 hours.
Clues put it
I
in the
know,
movie.
Yeah, that's right. Who done it? Kind of thing.
I was gonna ask, is this a part of a game? Because there's a game board that now becomes the clues, right?
Yes.
Now it becomes also a movie.
There was a movie back in the days.
Right,
Oh, really?
but now they're going to remake it. Or they've done the remake already, so it's kind of fun to kind of see that, playing a role, from a game board movie, from a game board to become a movie.
The second movie is more like Clues. Like,
Yeah,
they went
more
to the
like
island.
games and intentional games.
Yeah.
Like clues, so it's
right.
very interesting, guys.
So we have 3 different recommendations for sure. Rasha is making me want to eat, and Indra is making me wonder what I should do for for a proceeding of my future, because death is always a wait for us, guys. All right, so there you go. Hopefully you enjoy our recommendation for your weekend with your loved ones, of course. Right now we're going to take a short break. In the meantime, please don't forget to follow our social media accounts if you haven't already done so. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at See Today News. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. All right, so I don't know, death or like